Exam stress is probably every learner's first introduction to the pressures of being an adult. Learning to manage this stress is an important life skill, so we asked some learners from Settlers High School in Cape Town to share their views on exam stress.
Exams are very stressful. It depends what subject you're writing though. Maths
takes a lot of energy, so I find it very stressful.
Exams are stressful to a lot of people, but the level of stress depends on how well you prepare for the exams.
Yes, they are stressful. Not for me really, I'm more relaxed about exams.
Many students do suffer from exam stress, especially now at the end of the year. It is quite a stressful time. They find that because this exam counts so much and it's a promotion exam, they find it quite stressful and often difficult to cope with.
It's because you're being evaluated and your heart beats faster and you feel quite lightheaded. It's quite universal and normal to feel stress.
As if coping with a huge academic workload wasn't pressure enough, students and learners often get additional pressure from their parents. Parents can have a huge influence in teaching their kids how to handle their exam stress correctly in the future.
There's a lot of pressure to perform, especially on subjects that you are really good at.
My parents aren't that strict, but they do expect me to work hard.
When you start performing at school, there is a lot of pressure to keep that level of performance up.
There is pressure because you have to get into university and your parents all putting stress on you, you have to pass, obviously.
And I think as yourself that you put pressure on yourself as well to perform great and the results that you want at the end of the day.
There are huge pressures to perform, especially considering the South African job market. It's so difficult to go out and find work after matric without a tertiary qualification. So we have many of our learners competing for very few spots within tertiary institutions. And a lot of our learners especially would like to go on to university specifically. So they have to obtain in the top percentiles to get in there. In terms of pressures from parents, I think what's interesting is we have a generation of parents where their children now have the opportunity to go and study that they maybe never had. And so there's that kind of pressure of expectation where they expect that their child will go on to tertiary studies, they expect that their child will become a professional and get a good job. And then of course you have the expectations of the schools. Schools want their kids to perform very well. It looks nice in the newspapers, it looks nice for PR, you have so many A's at the end of matric. But at the end of the day, if the pressure isn't managed in a positive way, it can also give rise to some difficulties that kids can face.
We are in such a competitive type of society because we all have this feeling that we want to win and be number one and be first, and this is what happens during exams. You get rated and you find out for sure where you fit in the hierarchy. The better that you are as a student, the more stress you tend to feel, because it's the A students who are perfectionistic and really wanting to perform well, and they're the ones that really experience the highest levels of stress.
Eating healthy, exercise, quality sleep and a good time management plan are the fundamentals of good exam preparation and can greatly minimize exam stress. Adults can also learn and apply these principles so their children learn by example.
My family is very supportive. They always ask me how's things going, how's exams going, and they always try to do their best to ensure that the environment in which I study is comfortable for me.
Well, my mother is always bringing me snacks. Healthy snacks, of course.
Yes, they are, but they don't bring me sandwiches, so they don't bring me food, so I'm sad about that. But other than that, they do support me, asking me how's it going after every exam and asking me how's the studying going.
It's very important for us as the adults to provide guidelines for kids in terms of managing their stress. The difficulty with being a parent nowadays is that you want your child to obviously perform and be the best that they can be, but on the other side you don't want to push them too far that they burn out or that they have a breakdown. So you have to find a balance. A few important things I think for parents to remember is number one, know your child and know your child's capabilities and limitations.
Exams are inherently stressful and we can't ever take away stress in our lives. The only time we don't have stress is when we are asleep or dead. So that is life. The important thing about stress is to keep it within limits that work for you.